It's wild to think about, but we're gonna have to dive in at some point, and we might as well do it right now, ladies and gentlemen. Welcome to 1984 on Vinyl
Vinyl
Stallions.
Stallions.
You heard that right. We're going right back to the 80s with them synth rock, bass thumping, and a little bit of Tina Turner action.
Private Dancer. 1984, like Spruce said, and this one is a thumper. It's got 9 songs, 7 of them are singles. So the album came out in May of 1984. 2 of the singles were released before, and that is Let's Stay Together and Help. And now this album can be kind of confusing because there are so many different editions, so many different releases of it. So we're just going to do the standard US release, 2 sides on the vinyl. I guess the reason why I mention this is because Help was not on the US edition. Help was on the international edition, but both the US edition and the international edition, they have a completely different order that the tracks are on. The international edition was never pressed on vinyl. So, you know what? Vinyl Stallions, we're going with the vinyl.
It's what we got to do. It's in our blood, it's in our veins. But it's an interesting album in regards to Tina Turner's career.
Mm-hmm.
She got her start. So she was born in 1939. Got her start playing, honestly, in the late 50s and 60s, playing some nightclubs and whatnot. Had her big breakout in the 70s. Her husband, Ike, and her had it was the Ike and Tina Turner duo. That's what they were. That was one of the most historical acts in the 70s. But from there, so Tina and Ike did get a divorce, and now it's late 70s, 80s. Tina's about 40, 45, looking for some sort of revival. Because at the time as well, she was only considered like a act that people had seen. She was now playing like small little clubs and whatnot. So it wasn't like a prominent. People were like, she had already peaked. That's it. So when I say it's one of the greatest comebacks in music history, I mean it, because this album launched her and continued her
Absolutely.
career right into that Rock and Roll Hall of Fame where she stands now.
Yeah, and I mean, I would have to say this has got to be her most popular album. Yeah, I mean, it's got the song "What's Love Got to Do with It" on there. I mean, there's so many other good songs off this, and what's interesting is a lot of them are covers, or they're just songs that were not necessarily written by her. Um, it's pretty cool.
Which is an
Um,
interesting aspect of music because we haven't really touched on any album in regards to that. That just because you're an artist, you can sing, perform, doesn't mean you got to write your own music.
yeah, yeah, because yeah, that's a good point. Most of the music that we've reviewed or talked about thus far, you have the same person writing and performing, or at least one member of the band writing and then the whole band performing. Not a single song on this album did Tina Turner write herself. Not one. Even What's Love Got to Do with That? She did not write that song. So and that does it's not taking anything away from her because she is the one going out there singing and making the magic happen.
And I don't
Um,
think it takes away from anything because then there's the person on the other hand who writes all of these songs. And these songs would have never gotten heard without Tina Turner. And vice versa, Tina
exactly.
Turner wouldn't have had these songs without them. So it's a little wombo combo action. But then on top of it, gives you so much more appreciation for the people that can do both.
Hmm.
But this is her fifth solo album and the first one under Capitol Records. And I keep talking about this relaunch of her career. And the person credited for that is John Carter, who was from, I think, A&R Records. And then he was one who basically just took the leap on Tina Turner with this album, got her to sign with Capitol Records, and from there again is just credited with relaunching her career.
Yep, absolutely. And yeah, I mean, you'll see there's some pretty well-known songs on this too, like Let's Stay Together. Like everybody knows the Al Green version, and you got like 1984 by David Bowie. So, yeah, it's just a very interesting mix because some of these are original. It's just they're not necessarily written. No, not I shouldn't say not necessarily. They're not written by or wrote by Tina Turner.
Mhm. But
Um,
and to throw into that mix as well, this is also produced by multiple different producers as well. It's not even just like one person producing it.
yeah, and if I guess that's another way that the vinyl sort of has it organized. Like side one are just Rupert Hine and Terry Britton. Those are the two producers of side one. And then on side two, you have three. There's Greg Walsh, Martin Ware, and John Carter. So I believe that that's intentional, you know, like because obviously, as we mentioned on all album reviews, like once you get to the end of side one, we always talk about how, you know, like you're sitting in your room, you're watching TV, whatever, you got to get up and go physically flip the disc. So I think that's sort of how they organize it because this is a little different than some of the other albums we've reviewed too, where the songs don't necessarily all just like flow from one into each other. So I think that's sort of a way where the vinyl pressing is sort of like organizing, like, oh, here's this collection on this side, and here's this collection on this side.
Definitely. Yeah, but man, before we dive in, just know that this was really a launch as well for Tina Turner's just tempo ballads. Like she was very much into the rhythm and blues sound before this album. But yeah, this is just inspired by pop and kind of rock genres. Also can feature some smooth jazz and R&B. A very unique album, but you know, the first song, the first song, I Might Have Been Queen, just brings you that
Yeah,
80s bass.
I was just gonna say before you were talking about the 80s bass and synth and like that sort of combination, and the first song embodies that. Like if somebody listened to this song, I Might Have Been Queen, and had no idea what year it was released or anything about it, they would have just been 80s.
Hi, Clep, I'm Spruce. That literally just happened to me. Like, I didn't know that that was in the 80s. And again, that's why I literally started this whole conversation out with saying that because I went and looked it up from there and was like, wait, was this 80s? Yeah. And then
Oh yeah.
the synths come in and you're just like confirmed.
Yeah, and that the song is just full of soul and energy, and I mean, you get shook right away just by how powerful and deep Tina Turner's voice is.
Yeah. She she's a queen. She doesn't need to worry about might have been queen. She is a queen.
Absolutely. So then from there goes into the song that we all know, and that's "Whoa, what's love got to do with it?"
Sensual.
Yeah, that song's crazy. So yeah, the first one, I Might Have Been Queen, that was produced by Rupert Hine, and then What's Love Got to Do with It, and the next two are produced by Terry Britt.
It really features, that bubbly is the word I wrote down, synth at the beginning.
Hmm.
But also just lets loose that Tina Turner raspy, that scratchy voice that we all know and love. Like during those choruses.
Hmm. And yeah, it definitely just sort of has like this melodic vibe to it during the courses where it's just very soft and it just caresses your ears.
The rest of my devotion. Yeah, no. Obviously, the most popular one on this album, sitting at number 2.
And do you know what is that instrument where it's during the verses and at the end of the choruses, but it's like that.
Dude,
It's very faint.
again with the 80s, you just don't know. I'm just gonna put them all under synths. Like
That's probably what it is, but the synth is programmed to make like this very weird sound. It's almost like a flute or a piccolo. I don't know.
something of the wind. But yeah, no, it's very interesting song. Obviously, well credited. Peaked at number 1, I think, for 3 weeks on the top of the charts.
That's tough, especially at that time period too.
Yeah, no, yeah, it's and again, 45 years old is how old Tina Turner is right now. Like, and she's just getting her career back going to it. Yeah, Tina Turner, shout out, man. Like, I'm really glad we're doing this one. I like this song, Proud Mary, are the most notable ones that come to mind for me, but it's really awesome to be able to dive into this.
Yeah. So yeah, so after What's Love Got to Do with It, you better show some respect. But yeah, this song is very interesting. It's got like this wacky blues guitar at the beginning. And yeah, when I was listening to it and taking notes, I wrote down Dire Straits vibes on this one.
Mm-hmm.
So yeah, it has like that blues, like very fast, like almost like mountain southern rock type of strumming, but not quite, sort of like the Dire Straits.
And like the tone on the guitar as well does scream all of that. It's a wild tone at the beginning, baby. Yeah, that's a good one. Sitting at number 3.
And that one was written by Terry Britton as well.
Awesome. And then going down to number 4, we are sitting at one of the ones I loved, but I can't stand The Rain.
Yeah. Yeah, this one was very interesting and very relatable. Like, who does enjoy the rain? I mean, I'll say I enjoy the rain.
Yeah.
If I'm like indoors, but
there's something about a nice hot rain, honestly. Have you ever done that where it's like a summer day? I remember sitting at my parents' house, like shooting basketball, and it would just be a couple minutes storm, but you're just like, yes, rain down on me. Shout out to Dave.
Well, if I'll say if I was outside, then but like if I'm like on the porch or something and that hot rain comes down and then it stops and then I can just like go on the driveway right after, that's what I'm talking about.
That's Premier Rain.
Purple rain, purple rain.
Don't put me in a trance, please spare me. Dude, this song though does have like a modern day beat. That is what I wrote down. Like, it's something that I would literally, I feel like, hear any pop artist or something going over.
Yeah, it has like those power synth chords during the chorus.
I don't know why I keep writing it down either, but I wrote down alien synth. Like, everything that just sounds like from out of this world is just like alien space, blah blah blah.
Yeah, that's a good way to put it. Yeah, so then from there we go into a little bit of a slower groove. Better Be Good to Me. And yeah, like I said, it's a slower groove, but once you get sort of towards the middle of the song, the guitar really picks up and comes on strong.
And just something we just talked about with Sam Russ is the power of multiple voices that go unnoticed, but bring up. You said the guitar comes on strong, but it's, go listen back to that again. At the end, there's a whole chorus just bringing it all up, and it's so powerful in music. and evident in the song.
Yeah. Yep. And this one was written by Rupert Hines. So, like I said at the beginning, on this side of the disc, tracks 1 and 5 were um, produced and written by Rupert Hine. So that's I Might Have Been Queen and Better Be Good to Me. Tracks 2, 3, 4 or Terry Britton, and Britton writ What's Love Got to Do with It and Show Some Respect. I Can't Stand the Rain is written by Ian Peebles. Yeah, so those 5 tracks make up side 1. And like I said at the beginning of the show, there's a million different releases and ways that these songs are ordered. Yeah, this is the US vinyl, which I believe is the only country it was pressed in. I'd have to look that up, so don't quote me on that. But
Press, the unofficial sponsor of Vinyl Stallions. Press, drink their seltzer today. I've never tried it, but maybe you should.
Yeah, so then you flip it over a little bit, and here's where we get into the covers.
Under the covers.
Or under the table.
No. Classic cover right here, going into number 6 and to start the side. Like you mentioned before, we got Let's Stay Together.
Let's stay together.
Your voice just went like warped when you did that.
Loving you, weather. Times are good and bad, and the happiest sad.
Dude, this one definitely had much more of like a bop feel than like the original one. Like
she slowed it down too, so like it has that bop feel, but like the Al Green version is like a slower song, but Tina like found a way to slow it down even more, but still give it like a little more life. You know what I mean?
Yeah. Baby, when I think of her. Yeah, that's a great one. Great cover as well. I think I kind of want to learn that cover. That'd be a fun one.
Oh yeah, absolutely. Oh hey, if you're learning a cover of a song, like if you're gonna cover the cover, you might as well just like make your own cover. Do a Spruce twist on the Tina twist on the Al Green twist.
Just straight Brian Setzer orchestra vibes.
Say let's say together.
Shout out to the Stray Cats.
Yeah. Oh man.
Stray Cats and Stallions get along peacefully.
The Spruce Klepser Orchestra.
Holy shit. Stay posted, Stallions. All right, cool. So number 7, we boop bop down to the David Bowie cover, 1984, dropped in 1984.
Yeah, that is a crazy song. And honestly, one of my favorite David Bowie songs. I must say though, it came out in 1974, not 1984.
No, I know. I meant the Tina.
Oh yeah,
Tina's version dropped in 1984.
Okay, I see what you're saying now. Yeah,
I see the confusion.
Yeah, so that's off the David Bowie album Diamond Dogs, and yeah, Tina's version is it's very similar to, I guess, how her version differs from Al Green's. You could almost apply the same thing here to David Bowie's. Like his version is like very slowed down. There's not quite as many layers to it. And Tina's version, I think, adds a lot more layers to the song. And, with the way she sings, like David Bowie and Al Green are very more relaxed, more calm singers. And Tina is not. Like her voice is powerful. Like when she sings, she's there.
Piano kick ass in the song. More synth.
Oh yeah,
you'll love to see it. And then the oohs in the background really get me going as well.
Yeah, no, I completely agree.
It's a fun song. The shortest one on this album, though.
hmm And so those two were produced by Greg Walsh and Martin Ware. And so those are two covers. So kind of makes sense to me, just start off side two with both of those rippers.
It adds up. But the number 9 song, the Spruce favorite, Steel Claw.
Yeah. So this one had some punk rock vibes to it, I thought. Even like, so okay, on my notes here, I wrote the Meatloaf song because it reminded me of just like some crazy, Meatloaf Bad Out of Hell, or just some song where like somebody just slamming on the piano and it's just chaos in a good way.
No, that's a good way to put it, actually, the Meatloaf song. But a classic guitar sound and just, yeah, great, just classic guitar riff.
And so this song was wrote by a gentleman named Paul Brady, and then John Carter produced this one and the next song, which is the title track.
Private Dancer.
And this is also the longest song on the album. And so I got some fun little trivia here. So earlier I was talking about Dire Straits on the song Show Some Respect. And so take a wild guess as to who wrote Private Dancer.
Private Dancer was written by CCR.
No, that would be Mark Knopfler of the Dire Straits.
Yeah, no. The only reason why CCR came in my head was because, like, her song, like "Rolling on the River," wasn't that originally a CCR song? Proud Mary. Who wrote Proud Mary originally?
I
I'm gonna
want
look
to
it
say
up.
CCR.
Yeah, it's not.
Yep,
Is it
yep, it
CCR?
sure is. Yeah,
See, I knew they were
yeah. So
tied
that is
into
off
her.
the album Bayou Country. So
Yeah, and
that's the one that's got like Bone on the Bayou.
dude, we talked about how we like messed up with like what album, because the one that we did, "What's Love Got to Do with It," is actually just like her greatest hits album or whatnot.
Yeah, yeah. So
And
that album was made for. So there's a biography movie about Tina Turner called "What's Love Got to Do with It," and "What's Love Got to Do with It," the album, is the soundtrack for that movie. So it's got a few just like regular original songs that she had already released, but then it's also got some re-recordings of songs that she had released in like the 70s and the 80s. So it's very different. It's not quite what we were going for, so that's why we called the audible and switched it over to Private Dancer.
yeah, and it was a good call. We definitely are sticking true to like albums. But no, like Proud Mary is my favorite song by her. My favorite.
I'm gonna have to check that out.
Dude, you don't know Proud Mary?
I mean,
Dude,
I know believe I
I'm gonna
know the
send it.
CCR version.
Dude, I'm gonna send it
I've
to you.
definitely not listened to the Tina
It's just
version.
a slow looking for a job down in the city for the first half. And then it's just like you're 2 timing it. Everyone just gets injected with adrenaline, and then dun 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 dun. Yeah, dude, the amount of times I've lost my fucking loaf in the shower listening to that is too many to count on my two hands.
Yeah. Oh
But
man. Yeah,
yeah.
Private Dancer, crazy way to end the album. Private Dancer. It's just 7 minutes and just jazzy.
Big fan of sax. You come to the right
Yeah.
place.
Oh yeah. The sax solo at the end is just violent.
Like
Like,
starts at like 3:45 or something in the
yeah.
song.
Well, and like I said, it's written by Mark Knopfler. Like Dire Straits. What do you expect? Like that band, you can listen to their music and you have no idea what's coming your way.
Remember that one time
You
when we played like the Fuckboy playlist at my house and they came on one time when you and Michael were here, and I just remember laying on the floor and be like, I just got Dire Straits.
Yeah, that was Skate Away that we listened to, and that song is crazy.
Yeah, I don't
Here
remember much
she
of that song.
comes, Queen Roller Bomb, slipping and a
Man,
sliding.
love it. Well, shout out to Tina Turner, Women in Music Everywhere. That's another album checked off by the Stallions, Private Dancer. Woo!
Oh yeah.
Woo!
So that gives us one album left in the Women in Music series, and like we said, we don't care that it's April. Every month is Women's Month, so if you were going to hold us to that March timeline, you better think twice. And then after we finish Ceremonials by Florence and the Machine, we are going to dive into the John Frusciante album review series where we review every Red Hot Chili Peppers album that has John Frusciante on it. So there's 6.
No, there's 5.
Well, we did one of them.
Ah.
So there is 6, but we've already done one, and that's Unlimited Love. So then we got Mother's Milk, we got Blood Sugar Sex Magic, we got Californication, By the Way, and Stadium Arcadia.
Want to know what? There might be a surprise at the end of this one as well. So stay tuned. Klep doesn't even know about it, but haven't even informed him. Haven't even told him. But just know that there will be a surprise at the end of the John Frusciante series. So definitely look forward to that. But again, we don't want to look too far ahead. We're going to stop still, no turning back. We got Florence next, and I am so excited to dive into this album because I have not listened to it all the way through. Check our IG because we're going to be posting some pics that I took seeing her at Bonnaroo in 2015, which I think I should get paid $1 trillion billion for and retire tomorrow. If anyone wants to buy them, come see me.
Very cool. We've both seen Florence and the Machine live before at music festivals, just different ones.
When did you see her in Bonnaroo? Or sorry, in
no, Lollapalooza 2012.
Ooh.
And yeah, so like same sort of deal. Like we were pretty close too, and like she didn't come into the crowd or anything at ours, but like I mean we were pretty close.
It's gonna be fun when she is very unique, so freaking talent. Excuse me, I almost just burp, cough, hiccup at the same time.
Man of many talents.
Man of many talents. DMs are open, ladies and gentlemen. But cool. Besides that, I'm excited to dive in. We'll keep it rolling here in April, Stallions. The Stampede. I know you want more. So do we. And we're gonna keep it going.
We got some cool interviews in the works too. So, yeah, if you're listening to this one in order, you will know that we just released one where we interviewed Sam Russ. Not gonna give any spoilers or anything, but just saying there's a few we're working on getting scheduled that the Stampede's really gonna enjoy.
Besides that, I am Spruce.
I'm Clem.
And this has been another episode of Vinyl Stack.